Welcome
to the One People Show. Welcome. And it's a very different vibe today. We've all calmed down considerably. Someone's got speakers.
Brian, you better mute. There you go.
Yeah, so that's better.
Hello.
Okay. How is everyone? Who have we got? We've got Chris, we've got Bob, we've got Brian. Brian's joined us. Brian has joined us in Morocco.
Yes. Brian is here.
I think he's afraid.
We're all here.
I think he's afraid to unmute.
Yeah, I think he might be afraid to unmute because he's giving some side effects there. But hello, everybody. We're coming to you from the world today. We're in North Africa, Pennsylvania, Melbourne, Australia. Bethany's in Minnesota somewhere.
Yep.
It's a world show.
Yes. And it's I'm still spinning.
Still spinning. Yeah, Bob has some big news, which we'll go into in a minute.
Yes.
And Lisa, are you still with us?
Yeah,
there?
we did lose Brian. He's dropped off. He's trying to get back on.
Well,
yes, he arrived this morning here in Morocco after a 48-hour ordeal, which I'll let him share with you if he chooses.
And he's had a breakup with his luggage. He's had a breakup with his luggage. We're all sitting in the same room using the same Wi-Fi connection, guys. So, can you hear me at all? Is it coming through clear? Yes, it's good.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. Yeah. Well, both Mark and Brian have dropped off, so let's hope you just hang around for a minute. Yeah, Brian had a breakup with his luggage, and she left him in New York.
Okay.
So
I'll drop off.
Okay.
I think they're playing musical chairs.
They are playing musical chairs. So let's just go into what happened to you yesterday. What was it the day before?
Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Days blurring into weeks here.
I haven't. I haven't really slept since. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. I guess I'll be joining them in Morocco this weekend, thanks to you guys, especially Helen B. I am
over the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I know Bob's still a bit gobsmacked by all this. Bob's been on a pension for some years because of the injury to his spine, and really short of funds. A call was put out onto some Skype rooms a couple of days ago, and
actually, it was yesterday morning, and in 2 hours I had more than enough. It was incredible. In less than 2 hours, I believe.
Exactly. The generosity was just amazing. Just incredible.
If I talk about it, I'll start crying, and I don't want to.
Okay. Well, look, the call went out, and people started putting money into Bob's account within minutes. And as he said, within 2 hours, he had more than enough to go. He's got enough for a ticket and a bit of money and to buy a Hawaiian shirt, I believe we discussed before the show. So it'd be a flash of colour in the streets of Morocco. But it's just a fantastic example of what the One People can do when we all pull together.
And hopefully we can pull our crew back together.
Yeah, because everyone else has dropped off.
Everybody's dropped off except for...
We have a guest, Bethany, and if no one comes back on, we'll just shift our schedule around and we'll talk to Bethany.
I'm still here.
Yep, Bethany's here. That's good. Well, the North African internet is a little bit dodgy, and I'm being kind here. They're trying to dial back in.
Hello, Don.
Okay, there's Dee.
Hello, Dee. How are you?
Hello, darlings. Excellent.
You're also the only person in Morocco who's managed to come back in. So
doing a little bit of a seating shuffle because it looks like we're going to share my computer. We're all going to be cuddly and stuff.
Okay, your voice quality.
Give me a second. Let's see if we can. Brian, come cuddle with me over here, darling.
Yeah.
Lisa's given up. She's just closed her computer completely.
Yeah.
Careful.
Your voice is speak. If you could speak slightly slower, your voices are just a touch distorted. We'll have to see how it settles down.
Hello.
Not that.
Is that better?
You just can't please some people. Oh, man.
Are we coming through clear?
Yes, we can hear you clear now.
Okay.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Dee. Hi,
How are
Brian.
you doing, Mike?
Hey, Bob.
I'm great.
I'm just happy to be here, finally, after 48 hours and planes, trains, automobiles, and buses, and taxi and water cabs. 15 modes of transportation later, and I made it from the doorstep of Bimini to the doorstep of Morocco. So, glad the travels are over, but the adventure is just beginning. So I'm happy to be here, and I missed everybody last week. I was off swimming with wild dolphins and connecting with their multidimensionality and proposing to my beautiful girlfriend Brittany. So it was a big week. Not to brag. Just throwing that out there right now. So if anybody wants to congratulate.
Congratulations, Sarah.
Yeah, congratulations, Brian. Well, we're assuming she accepted, Brian. Was it all positive?
It was a real strong maybe.
Good. That's a start. Is there a negotiation in play here?
Maybe that anybody's ever given me in my life. And it evolved to most likely. And then it went to yes. So it was a nice progression of things.
So it wasn't too sudden. It was just nicely smooth. Okay, I like
smooth
that.
sailing as always for me.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, Brian.
But
of all shows to miss, you missed the Giggle Fest show. You would have
I
been
heard-
a star.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud. I actually started to listen to it on Katrina's iPod on the 10-hour train ride from Marrakesh to Morocco last night, and
Tangier.
From Marrakesh to Tangier, and I was so tired that I fell asleep in the middle of it. But I couldn't actually make out any words. It was just laughter. So it sounds like it was very productive. I'm sorry, I'm already losing it. It's going to be that kind of show. But thank you all. I missed you all. I'm sorry if I haven't returned your blog comments, emails, or Facebook messages. It doesn't mean I love you, and it doesn't mean I don't care. I will get to them, I promise, at some point. So, good to hear you all your voices again. And I'm looking forward to seeing you as well, Bob.
Me too.
And guys, I'm just going to type some stuff into the Skype chat here about things that I'd ask you to bring up during the course of the show in case you lose us.
Sure.
Okay.
Don't mind me, I'll just be typing away in the background.
Okay.
So the tick, 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 tick sound is her, not me.
For once.
Okay. Well, we did actually while you guys were all diving on and off the call, we did actually talk about Bob's ticket and the fact that he raised that incredible amount of money in a very short period of time, thanks to the generosity of all the folks in the Skype rooms, and how proud we are of everybody for doing that. It's brilliant.
Not a bad achievement in 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hour and 40 minutes.
That's
Broke
so
all
cool.
records. Broke all records. So, Lisa, while you're working on that, shall I go through the Absolute Data Exchange update with Bethany?
Please.
Okay. So, folks, we have on with us at the moment Bethany Truex, who's been working with the Absolute Data Exchange team and doing a fantastic job in her capacity of chief maker of email lists, coordinator of harvesting of email data. Now, just to give everybody, those who aren't aware of the Absolute Data Exchange information about what it is, it's a website that's being evolved to enable mass email mailouts. And the specific purpose of those is to front those aspects of the system that are misbehaving, the foreclosed entities who are still behaving as if what they're doing is real, to bring to their attention that they're acting unlawfully. Now, the website's been under development for probably about a month and a half. It's actually a merging of two technologies that have never been merged before, a particular open source database and I think a WordPress front end is what's been used. So the technical crew in the background that formed, it just formed, spontaneously. There's Ian in London and Rob, whom I'm not sure where Rob is, Brad here in Melbourne, and Linda Rays of Sunshine, who is in Perth, and then there is our guest today, Bethany Truex, who's actually in, I believe, Minnesota in the USA. Now, Bethany's been extremely busy. She's actually the person who put up the OPPT Success Stories page, and she volunteered to be the US coordinator for gathering email addresses for this particular project. Then she more or less went global because, obviously, she's very good at it. So, hello, Bethany. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm very honored to be here with all of you. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Now, you've been working particularly hard on gathering email addresses.
Yes, I'm more of the coordinator, not so much of the collector, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's, as long as it actually happens, because the difficulty with these email outs is actually getting accurate email addresses.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep, because we have to actually, there's a lot of email lists out there. You can gather them and you can use them, but you'll find you get a lot of bounce backs because the information's out of date. Now, I believe there's a bit of technology the team has acquired for checking the email addresses.
Yes, I think that if you go to the site, there's a little box right at the top that it says you can enter the email to check if it bounces back or not.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to go check on the site where it is exactly.
Yep. Well, that's quite important because you could end up with, a significant portion of your email list actually bouncing back, which is of no use. So they're being checked. They're being checked as they've been put in. Now, the website itself, Bethany, have you been very involved in producing the website or just in coordinating the collection of the email addresses?
Mostly coordinating.
The email addresses.
I'm like the in-between girl, yeah. Yep.
Good, because the way that the website works is the email address is www.absolute-data-exchange.com. That's absolute-data-exchange.com. Now, the reason this has evolved is that we are approaching a time when we have to really put this information firmly and fairly and squarely in front of those organizations and people that we want to, whose behavior we want to change. And specifically the banks, the courts, the governments, the media. They will be the main groups. We're gathering email addresses, so Bethany's team is gathering email addresses in all of those areas. Primarily, is Bethany focusing on the banks to begin with?
No, we've been focusing on everything. Banks, government, media, but as you know, it's a huge job, so I know a lot of people are asking right now, like, well, how come there's only a little bit of data for my area or whatever? Like, we're doing what we can, There's only so much, and there's more for more areas than other areas, and it'll grow as we continue.
Yeah, look, and this aspect of it, it's not just in the hands of Bethany's team that are actually going out and essentially going to websites and whatever sources they can to get the information. If you've collected some email addresses about your local area, maybe it's for the local council, you can actually enter it into this data system so others can use it. The idea here is that anybody anywhere on the planet can go to this website and ask for a particular geographic location and ask for a particular type of email address or all email addresses for that area and do a mass email out completely of their own volition, completely at their own initiative. So it isn't. There are going to be planned mass email outs, but you can do a mass email out 24/7 if you want to. You could do a mass email out to the world yourself if you want to. This is quite an extraordinary thing. So you could sit there at your computer and form an email and put it out there, and it could reach thousands and thousands of recipients. Now, one of the reasons we're focusing on this a touch this morning is there's a very specific way we need to go about this because of the anti-spam filtering and the content filtering that a lot of organisations use. Now, I certainly don't blame them for using either of those things, but in this instance, we want to put out mass emails to groups of people who are using these technologies. Now, one of the things, well, there's several things that spam filters look for apart from content they're not interested in. One is lots of emails coming from a particular IP address. Now, one of the original thoughts that most people would have had was, well, why can't we go to one place and just email everything from there? If you do that, if all these emails came from one source, it would be very rapidly identified as a source of spam and completely ignored. That is, all of the emails from that address would be deleted as they came into email servers, because there's an international system for registering sources of spam, and most organisations use it as a blacklist. And anything on the blacklist just doesn't get through their server, so it will never reach its recipients. So this website, the Absolute Data Exchange, has been oriented to... sorry about that, my phone's going. Has been oriented to creating emails that will get through the filtering system. So it needs to come from your IP address and from your email address. Then we can guarantee that most of these will actually get through. So the technique we have to use is somewhat manual. We can't automate it. Well, there are ways of automating it, but it does involve some setup which most people aren't familiar with. But they are familiar with copying and pasting, and that's how this technique actually works. So if you go to the website, several buttons to draw your attention to. One is just how to use this site, which has got some really good instructions on how to just initially register your name, and then the procedure for using the site, which is to copy and paste a foreclosure flyer from the site into a fresh email that you'll start, and then to go to the database and select the entries that you're after and copy and paste those into the CC field, or actually into the BCC field of your email client, your email program. Now, a couple of things to this. I'm not going to get too technical here, but essentially there is a little bit of technique to it. When you copy and paste the foreclosure flyer, you simply click on the foreclosure flyer button, and with your mouse, just swipe down to the bottom of the foreclosure flyer, copy it to the clipboard, paste it into your email, the empty email that you've got ready. Take a look at it when it's pasted in. You may find you want to change the fonts. You might want to tidy it up a touch. There are lots of different email programs, and we can't predict exactly how it'll land when you copy and paste it into all of them. So it's very straightforward. It's just headings, text, and some links. Take a look at it. Make sure it's not too untidy. Just change the font, or you can do a beautiful reformatting job should you so desire. Because once you've done it once, you can reuse it many times. It's just a matter of getting it across there. Now, why isn't it an attachment? Well, a lot of email filters actually inspect attachments and filter out according to content. And they focus quite heavily on that because they're looking for, content they're not interested in. They want to eliminate that. If it's in the body of an email message, it will still get some attention. But what's important is the message that you put at the start of your email. If you make that your individual message, then your individual group of emails will be different to everybody else's, and they're less likely to attract the attention of the spam filters, including the subject line of the email. The subject line of the email needs to be unique so that it can actually, again, be differentiated from everybody else's email. So we're trying to, first of all, personalize these so it comes from you. Okay, this is a message from you to the system. You need to do it with the same intent that you use when you actually create and use a courtesy notice mail out, for instance. It has to be the right intent, and whatever message it is that you want to give to that particular recipient. So remembering that you might be sending out 500 emails, you've got to make it somewhat generic, but it still can be your message, and if it's unique, then we'll attract less attention from the spam filtering, and we'll get more emails through to them. I'm sorry to have to that we have to do it this way, but the technology is designed to eliminate nuisance mail-outs. This is, from our perspective, this is not a nuisance. We still need to get past their filters. Now, as far as using the database is concerned, when you click on the database button, you're actually presented with just a couple of options. You select the country that you're dealing with, and if you look down at what you're looking at is the work from Bethany and her team and others. We haven't got every country in here, and if your country's not there, I suggest you get in touch with Bethany and the team and find out how best you can get the information to them, or simply enter it in yourselves, because there is a process. You can enter all the data in yourselves as you go through. You can then select an organisation category. The categories at the moment are banking, chemicals, environmental, finance, government, legal, media, utilities. You hit the search button and it'll open a window and you'll see dozens, sometimes hundreds of email addresses. And again, the technique is manual, although we may actually make it slightly more convenient with a few more buttons, but essentially you swipe down the list, copy and paste it into the BCC field. Now, I need to explain the difference between the CC field and the BCC field. In most email browsers, or in a lot of them, the CC field is displayed all of the time. It's usually up there. Now that stands for carbon copy, and it's actually a throwback to the days when you typed letters on a manual typewriter with two sheets of paper with a piece of carbon paper between them, so you got an extra copy when the typewriter letters banged through the paper. That's where the term CC comes from. BCC is a modern adaptation of that, which is blind carbon copy, which means that the person in the BCC field gets a copy of the email, but the other recipients don't know it. Okay, only the recipient, the only email address that will appear on the email for each recipient is their own. They won't know who else it was emailed to. That's what the BCC actually means. In a lot of email browsers, you have to go and find that option. For instance, in Microsoft Outlook, it's actually under the Options tab, Show BCC, and you'll find in most email clients you'll have a BCC button. And it's the BCC field you want to put your mass email addresses in. I did a test last night with about 500 email addresses, copied and pasted those across. That's dropped straight in, so I could have hit the button and emailed out 500 emails in one hit. And it's in this particular game, it is a numbers game. We're looking for the psychological effect of individuals receiving many emails from different people. So if I'm a person in a bank and I'm sitting there and I receive an email from Bethany, but I also receive one from Bob and Lisa and Chris and Dee and Brian and 20, 30, 50, 100 emails from other people, that means they know that they're being watched by people all across the planet. And one of the things that you can do is, if you're emailing internationally, for instance, you could put your country in the subject line, so that they see they're actually getting email addresses from individuals all over the planet. And this is us standing up and asserting our free will. So I'll stop there, but I'd certainly encourage you to go and learn to use the website. It's going to keep evolving. It's going to be a fantastic source of email addresses, and that's what Bethany and her teams are doing. And if you're in a country and who's not on the list, I'd get in touch with Bethany and her team and have a chat about the best way to do things. And I'd love to see that country list expanding every week. Because we're going to start this particular program today with a mass mail out, and let me just get back to the message from Brad. Now, there's a Facebook page that's advertising it, which we'll put on the chat. There's the first email out will be today. If you haven't got, if there are local contacts that you want to put in there, you can actually deposit them in the website. Just click on how to use this website to find out how to deposit them in there. The first mail out is oriented around sending out the foreclosure flyer. However, we can make up any content that we like and actually, empower yourself. If you've got a particular program you want to carry out locally, you could use a foreclosure flyer. You could completely write your own message. It doesn't have to be the foreclosure flyer. The foreclosure flyer's got a lot of great data on it, and it really draws people's attention to the specific issues they've got to get to. But you could do your own. You could create a complete campaign. Here's your source of email addresses, because that's the toughest bit of all. Now, the other aspect that we're promoting, this will be on the on the Facebook page, is a personal visit to banks. This particular first push, we're encouraging people to actually send emails to the banks, because the banks are pivotal in this whole problem we've got with the system that we're facing. Absolutely pivotal. It's their frontline harvesting tool. It's the means by which they, control our lives by controlling our cash flow, by putting a big dent in our cash flow every month, so that everything else becomes a struggle. So the banks, the people first up. It's a two-pronged attack: email in the morning, personal visit in the afternoon. Now, everyone's, I hope, aware of the work of Chase Binney in just dropping in and having a casual conversation with, in his case, the banks, and in fact, I think the state governor that he went to, or the state attorney general.
The attorney general.
Attorney General, yeah. He just fronted up and delivered some information very happily and calmly, and no aggression, no ill will, done with the best of intent, and simply delivered information to them. And that particular approach, both remote by email and a personal visit, is the way that we're going to try and move forward with all of these programs. It will begin with the banks, but we'll move through the media and we'll move through the government, and we'll make ourselves heard. As far as what information you deliver when you go to see your bank manager, Lisa went and visited her bank manager before she left for Morocco, gave them a little kit of information, and that's something else that I've already spoken with Brad about, and information about that kind of little kit will begin to appear on the Absolute Data Exchange website, so that people can actually assemble this printed material and take it down to the banks, have a little chat with the bank manager, exchange some information, be kind and gentle with them, because they're us and we're them, and putting that energy in two ways is absolutely the way that we'll change this planet. Because the information we're starting to get back out is that the system is absolutely aware of what's going on. It doesn't know what it wants to do about it. The only thing they can do at this point in time is deny it. Okay, so
it's getting harder for them to even do that. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is paying attention to what is actually going on the geopolitical scene, the financial scene. I mean, people, statesmen, politicians are being exposed everywhere. Whistleblowing. It's like, I don't know, it's like banker season, and everyone's gone hunting.
Those wascally wabbits. Those wascally bankers. Exactly. Yes.
For people, who are still on the fence and doubting about what's going on, and it's not just what the One People's Trust has done. it's all these different groups and everybody is moving forward, in toppling the system. It's like this mad dash to tear it down. And I believe we are watching. We are in first row seats, watching the fall of Babylon, if you will. I'm watching it right in front of my eyes. There's so much information that's being flooded, and the mainstream can't even ignore it, because they're part of the news now, about all of the corruption, deception, cheating, lying, shenanigans that have been going on. And
great example in our news this morning, Bob. Turns out the current people who run this government quietly earmarked about $50 million of taxpayers' funds to help fund their next election campaign, which then they did that completely outside all the rules.
And
and they got caught, and it's on the news, and they're screwed. That's what's going on. I think Andrew Bartz's information last week was very interesting. He said that as time progresses, what we're going to be watching are the Three Stooges. It'll be like the Three Stooges. And I just wanted to put this thought out there into everybody's head, and one of the reasons we're particularly focusing on the bankers, because of the reasons I described, because they are the pointy end of the system that inserts itself into our lives. They are actually, at the highest levels, they're fully aware that they've been foreclosed. They're fully aware that everything they're doing at this point is unlawful. They're also fully aware that most people don't know it yet, and they can keep it going for as long as they possibly can, provided nobody finds out. Okay? So the more information they get, at some point they're going to have to make some serious decisions about what they do next. And if they see all of these emails pouring in and stuff coming up to them from bank manager level, informing them that the people know exactly what's going on, they know they're only one step away from that happening in the media, and it's starting to spill out. And they know they've got some hard and fast decisions to make.
And you know what? We're reaching a point now where ignorance is no longer bliss. It stopped being blissful a long time ago. So, people need to, they really need to have all of that absolute data, that absolute truth. It needs to be known. People need to be aware, and if they're, when you're trying to explain it, to other people, you don't have to force it down their throat. Just make a comment. Have you heard? Start the conversation. At least get them thinking about, the possibility of what is actually going on. Because people are starting to ask questions. And one of the things that I listened to earlier today, it was a Bashar video from 2008, and he was talking about some of the changes that were going to take place. But one of the things he said was that when the system crashes, basically a new system has to be in place to take the place when the old system crashes. And it will crash, and we're seeing it now. I see where it's imploding.
Yeah, that's a really important factor, actually, Bob. Replacing the system. That's where the CVAC system, which we're going to start talking about very soon, because in the next weeks, and I certainly won't say this week, next week, 3 weeks from now, but we're working very hard in the background to get the universal exchange actually up and running in a real fashion. And when it does, what the trigger point will be to actually draw the attention of 6-7 billion people to the existence of the very first appearance of the new system, I'm not sure what that trigger point will be. I've got some things in mind that I think would be fantastic in carrying out that particular job, because it's the pivotal thing. What will be the announcement? Will it be just some event? Will it be, what will it be? That'll unfold in the coming weeks, and that's the beginnings of the replacement system. right there. Exactly what you said, Bob. The idea here is that we don't pull down the old. It's not like a case of a revolution where the military roll out and completely destroy something and you've got to rebuild it. We're just going to build something which will stand for a period of time alongside the old, and the old will just melt away because we'll be putting no energy into it. We just won't. There'll be no taxes for the government. There'll be no interest payments for the banks. It will simply be, have a nice party over there, guys, because we're going over here in this direction. Evolution. Hello, Bob. Oh, I hope I haven't lost Bob too.
No, you didn't lose me. Not quite yet.
Okay. No, just saying I'm all for evolution, not revolution.
Absolutely.
And evolution is peaceful.
And by and large, this is what we're seeing. We almost really, don't have to do anything, as far as dismantling the system. It's doing it on its own. It's on a one-way course, and there's no saving it.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Bob, I want to. It's like rolling a big ball along. If you want to keep it rolling, you've got to give it a bit of energy every now and then, and that's what these email outs are actually doing. Now, I talked a minute ago about the people at the top end of the banks having to make a decision. The decision is part of the decision is when and how they'll actually become the universal exchange. Because in my opinion, and folks, please take this as my opinion only, we own all of the hardware that they have. We own it. Okay, it was actually confiscated from the corporations when they were shut down, and it's in the hands of the people. So they're sitting around with a bunch of shiny equipment in shiny buildings with a whole bunch of staff, doing completely the wrong thing at the moment. What they should be doing is acting as a transaction center for us, and in providing the resources that we need to build this new world, because they don't exist any longer. They're just playing a game at this stage. And the only thing that's keeping it going is the fact that the audience aren't aware of the game. And that's all about to change. So the big message for the people at the top end of the banking system is what decision you've got to make. You've got to support the universal exchange. That's how it is going to be. And whether it's done simply by them, admitting the fraud, admitting the fact that they've been practicing deceptive acts for generations upon us, admitting that we are the creditors, the value they've been using is ours, they've been using us without telling us. It's time for them to admit these things and let the system shift into something that serves us rather than something that's just harvesting energy. So I don't know if you've given thought, Bob, to how this process would actually unfold if the banking system actually admitted, yes, we did it. How can we make amends?
Well,
does that enter into?
You're seeing something similar happen with the IRS right now. And it's not so much as admitting it as them really being caught with their pants down, and people from the inside ratting each other out. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Internal.
Well, that court case with Karen Hughes. She's, I think, an ex-leader in the World Bank, and she's actually, I think they're actually trying to get her into court over information that she's leaked out of the World Bank. But she's really, because she was so senior, she's really, really bringing them to task over what's been done to the planet. And that's going to be quite an important situation over the next, weeks and months, because she's outing the system at a very, very high level.
Yeah, and it's happening all across the board. I mean, people they're trying to save their own ass and ratting each other out.
Yeah, that's the feeding frenzy that we see in the financial system. Because one of the interesting things is that I don't know what the news media are like in America, but in Australia, I mean, it seems to be highly controlled. We actually, okay, everybody's getting dropped today. We actually don't get any information about what's going on in Cyprus or Greece or Iceland. Certainly not. We don't get any news of Christine. Is it Christine Legrand?
We have to go outside of our own country to get our news, to find out what's going on inside.
Exactly. See, we get no news about that sort of thing. As far as the population in this country are concerned, nothing's happening. And it's really quite peculiar. Now, Bob, you and I are the only one on this call now, because everybody else seems to have actually lost their internet connection.
Yeah, that is everybody. Our whole, ladies and gentlemen, our whole crew just one by one disappeared out of the studios.
So it's just you and me, Bob.
We're the last two.
We're the last two. And now, look, Bethany got dropped off as well. Thanks for coming on, Bethany. Keep up the great work. We want people to go to the website and have a play around, get used to it, and create your own email campaign. Because I've actually done the work that Bethany's talking about, gathering up email addresses. It takes hours, because you have to, if you want to go through a government department and pull out all the email addresses, you've got to go to many, many different places. And it just takes hours and hours and hours. And they've collected a huge number of email addresses already. And anyone else who's willing to take up the challenge in any country that's not on the list, jump in, folks, because this is us helping each other.
Perfect.
I mean, the idea of me being able to sit at my desk and create an email and mail it out to every major bank in America is amazing. It's fantastic. And
it looks like Bethany's trying to get back in.
Yeah, I'll pull Bethany. Actually, do you have Bethany's contact, Bob?
Yeah, I'll get her back in.
Get her back in, yeah, because I think the Morocco, I think the Morocco crew have just suffered a little bit of the North African internet syndrome.
Yeah.
But look, there's many other things to talk about. We could talk about the banks all morning. There are a couple of other things I need to go through, so I may as well jump into a couple of other announcements. Bob, unless you've got something to add to the mass email app?
Nope. I think they're waiting to hear about Project 13.
Yes, they're waiting to hear about Project 13. I guess, look, there's two things to mention here. Caleb had to take a couple of days off just to basically recover. I think he was at the point of absolute exhaustion, so he had to pull back for a couple of days, and he's back on the job now, and he's working on the essentially the last stages of the Windows version of the Project 13 software, and to some extent that'll translate directly into a Macintosh version, fairly quickly. But the iPhone app is virtually ready to go. I think one of the things about these sorts of bits of software, because I've been involved in this myself, you end up at the end of the road putting in things that really, really advance the product and really need to be in there as quickly as possible. So you end up jumping in and making last-minute additions, which is, I think, what's going on with the iPhone app and the Windows mobile app. They will be released very close to June 1st. The website, I think, will either be on, that is, the Windows version will be delivered either on June 1st or within a day or a few days thereof. Trying not to wear out our poor programmer. Anything to add to that, Bob? You're involved in the general chatter on that.
Well, I did see the update that's on the IUV.com page, and from what I understand, this is a very, very secure way of handling data on the internet. and it's a platform that I imagine will have multiple uses, not just the IUV exchange, but in general, a very secure way of exchanging information. And this is something that is necessary because of all of the fingers that are in the different pies of all these other companies like Facebook, Skype, Google, and everybody's just, these are all these different harvesting mechanisms that, the powers we're using, and, we don't want to play that game anymore, so we're taking our ball and we're going home.
We're taking our ball and we're making a new home.
That's right, our value, and we're going.
With our own value, exactly. Now, that we spoke a lot about the security of this platform on the last show, and to summarise it very briefly, all the programs that Bob just mentioned, Facebook, etc., are all built and designed from the ground up to have humanity plough a huge amount of information in there for free under their own energy, which the people who own the software then harvest and reorganise and sell. And okay, we have. I'm getting a contact here from someone I was hoping to pull in before the show, so we'll grab her and. Just hang on a sec there, Bob. Can't see this name in my list. Here we go. Okay, if you could dial that person, Bob, that would be good.
No problem.
So I'll finish the comment. Yeah, those programs are designed to actually harvest the information that you put on them, and for resale, not just for commercial marketing purposes, but to the three-letter agencies for the purposes of observation and control. So they're not what they appear to be, and it's one of the reasons why you can't delete your Facebook page. And it's, despite lots of shifts in the security settings, there's still every opportunity for people's data to go completely into the wild and never be retrievable. And Project 13 addresses all of those, works a completely different way, based completely on the privacy of the data and not on the publicity or not on public exposure of the data. So it's totally flipping the paradigm. And it's what we need for communicating with one another on a large scale. Because one of the things that we'll need in the new paradigm is the ability to communicate freely and safely with one another worldwide instantaneously, so that everyone's on the same level. It's one of the things about being in the absolute. The communication systems we use have to reflect that status. There can't be any hierarchy or control in them.
I almost forgot. I wanted to pay my respects for Poof, who's just passed. I don't know if everyone's heard, but I'm sure you have. That was one of the interviews. It was one of the original interviews that I heard that introduced me to the One People's Public Trust. That interview with Brian Kelly and Poofness.
Indeed, yeah. I've been reading the releases from Poof for some years. Always really interesting. Very connected chap. He seemed to have connections somewhat into the military and into the Chinese dragons, or the Asian dragons. I don't think it's exclusively Chinese. But yeah, look, salutations to Poof, and farewell.
Yeah.
Hello.
They're back. Now we've got actually two people have popped in. Yes, we can. Just hold there one moment. Helen Vita, how are you?
We're here. I'm excellent, thank you, and sorry for my late entrance.
That's quite all right, Helen. If you could just mute yourself for a moment. We've just had a whole lot of Skype interruptions, and we just want to settle things for a moment.
All right.
So if you could hold there a moment, then we'll come and talk to you about your own part of the project as well. So you guys, Dee, everybody's there, back on?
We are back, apparently.
Yeah, we had to reset the router. I think we're good to go.
Excellent. Well, we've just been chatting on about all sorts of things here, so we've actually just got one more thing to do as far as updating is concerned with Helen Vita, who's just popped in regarding the mass mail outs that we're encouraging people to do. So if you guys can hang on for just a minute, we'll finish that conversation and then proceed.
No
Okay.
problem. I'm going to go get more coffee. Be back.
Could you get me one, please? That would be nice.
I'll pour it through the phone as we speak.
Right. So, welcome to Helen. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you very much.
Great. I know we had some toing and froing before the show to try and get you on here, so we didn't get a chance to talk, so we'll just have to wing it as usual. Now, look, the information I have from the creative team on the IUV web, and we've got a couple of announcements for them to do as well, but we'll skip straight to yours. You're producing a new segment called 1 + 1 = 11, and are doing some coordination with the flash mobs for sending out, etc. Now, is that in relation to using the Absolute Data Exchange website, or is it a separate effort?
No, it's of course we'll use the Absolute Data website because they've got they've got so much contact information. So basically, what it is a couple of things. I've put together a little strategic sheet that because sometimes, as we know, people they want to do something, but they sort of don't know where to start. So we've done a little sheet that has got, for every day of the week, it's got 2 options or 2 suggestions of activity people can do to continue to expand the awareness of the new freedom, etc. So in there, it's got things like send out 5 CNs to your local bank or your government department or whatever, or take 5 posts from IUV and put them on your Facebook wall, or take 5 interesting or exciting posts from the website and tweet them, that kind of activity. So we've got like Twitter Tuesday, Facebook Thursday, that kind of thing to just sort of make that process a little bit of fun. But of course then in there, the database from Absolute Exchange, so it's all to be worked together. So that's one part of it. The second part of it then is to use that to record not only the activities that people do, but then the results they get, so the success stories. And the 1 + 1 = 11, it's just because that's really about an exponential expansion. So hence that's how we came up with the name and what the activities are.
Excellent. Now, one of the things that will come out of this as well are, apart from mass email outs to organisations, on behalf of yourself, the other thing that really needs really needs some support for everybody on the same basis as what we've talked about so far in the show, and that's support for people who individually are being attacked by the system through the courts. And in that instance, it's actually emailing out to the people involved in the court case with courtesy notices or foreclosure flyers or both, depending on what level of involvement you want to have. But if you could if I can sit here in Australia and support someone in America who's going through a foreclosure, or someone in England or someone in Europe, if that sort of data is the thing that needs to be coordinated, and it sounds like that's the direction you're headed in, Callum.
Yeah, well, as people send out CNs, then we can also give them the option that they can either send a customised courtesy notice, whether it's a general slavery foreclosure or individual foreclosure or one of the other, various documents, and then they can either customise it with the respondent's name and details, and then either upload that through a Skype room or through the website, and then we on the other side can support them by, as you say, sending out our own CNs to that individual or to that organisation as well. So literally, it's not about that one person, David and Goliath kind of feeling. It's a wall of people who are then saying, we know what's going on, we know what you're doing, and we are here to let you know that with love and great intention that we cannot allow it. So it's that additional support through the documentation that can also be given, and I think that gives people a lot of energetic strength as well. Because it's not just them standing against that dark face, it's all these people behind them as well, knowing the truth.
Exactly. The system relies on the fact that it can overpower the individual just by sheer weight. fronting up into a court to all those officials with the bailiffs standing around. It's a very, very intimidating situation for the individual. But if you know you've got half the planet watching, knowing what's going on, ready to tell these guys you're doing the wrong thing, that changes the confidence with which you approach the entire situation. And that's at the moment, that's our best enforcement. It really is our best enforcement.
And the other part of that too is that what I've just been discussing with BZ is that on the IUV site, we're going to, and that's just in its infancy now, but that will be organised within a few days or a week. On the IUV site, we're going to have a section that is a public notice board specifically for CNs, and basically the way it will be set out is initially by, it'll be by country, and then it'll have the respondents, the entity, and the respondent that entity is behind, or is that individual is there. And so we're actually then going to post the company, the individual, who was the proponent, the terms and conditions, and how it was delivered, a little bit like all the detail at the beginning of a CN, how it was delivered. And that way then we can then put, if we choose to, we can then send that entity an email to say that just to let you know that your CN is in public notice, in a public forum now. But also what I do envisage is that just as lawyers and banks and all those kind of people put public notices or law notices in the local paper, so too we can put very cheap little public notices to say, click here for the latest string of public notices, or, Vaughan Richter of ING has received a courtesy notice as of the such and such date. So again, this public notice forum or facility is very much an existing strategy, so therefore it's recognised, and therefore also puts it out in the public forum in an even bigger way.
And I presume that if you wanted to support someone who's been courtesy noticing court officials or a bank, that you could actually simply, I guess the question I'm asking is this: if people are publicly noticing actions that they're involved with, and if those people can also publish the email addresses of the persons that they've been sending the courtesy notices to, that we the public will be able to drop into this location, pick up those email addresses, and support that person, no matter where they are on the planet.
Exactly, because also what I want to do is to be able to upload a PDF of each of the individual CNs, so that it's out there in various ways, and also then, just exactly as you said there, then I've easily got all the details I need to be able to fill in my own support CN for that member, and absolutely, that's exactly correct.
Yeah. Now, whether you actually commit to doing a courtesy notice, or whether you just send an email in support of, it's all energy going back to them, saying no. Yes. And this is where it gets very important. So, I guess, which part of the IUV website is this on?
It will be a separate subdomain of it, but basically, we just haven't finalised everything yet, but it will be very simple. It'll be a simple entry at the beginning of IUV, so it'll be something.i-uv.com. So very simple, but I will release that as soon as we've got that specific subdomain.
Okay. Look, this is really great developments, folks, and thanks to everybody for fantastic work in putting this sort of material together. Just remember, everybody out there, this is everything that's been done in the last 5 months has been done for zero budget. Okay. If you ever wanted to see an example of how the Universal Exchange works, just look at what's been going on in and around the former OPPT, now the IUV exchange. The amount of energy that's pouring into this, that's our value, folks.
Yep.
It's right there in front of us. So if you ever wanted evidence that a new system that's based on our value could work, you're looking at it, you're listening to it. It's right here in front of us. And when the support starts to kick in for people, when people who's running a court case, somewhere in the US suddenly gets told by their lawyer that the other side are complaining they're receiving all these emails from the public, then you know you're not alone.
Yes.
Okay, because what we have is each other.
Yep. And the other part of all of that too is that we're doing, as we come across more and more now, success stories of actual actions and success stories in terms of, the silence as such. We are interviewing those people, and we've just started that deliberately as well, interviewing, and we'll be posting those online as well. Even just 3 people I spoke to yesterday that we're lining up interviews for. Each of them have got such different stories of what they're fighting, or what they're, what they're fighting, so to speak, how they're dealing with it, the responses they're getting, and then one of the interesting ones that I spoke to, which will come out in the next few days, is a gentleman who's been going through the courts up in Queensland, and he said that I asked him what sort of activities he's been doing, and he said that he's been doing, yes, he's done a lot of CNs, but he's also been focusing on focusing energetically. That is, focusing on the intent of it all as well, trying to stay in the space. And so this is a very important thing too. So all the different stories we're going to hear are just going to be really captivating. Excellent.
Now, where are you publishing those stories, Helen?
They'll be on the IUV website as well.
On the IUV website, because that's exactly, that's exactly the sort of encouragement that we need to carry people through this process, because we're going to win this. We just have to keep pushing. To an individual, it feels like the system is overwhelming, but they know their greatest fear is when we all stand up together and push back at them, because that's the irresistible force.
Yep.
We outnumber them so much, and all we have to do is apply that, and then we'll actually get where we need to go.
Yep. So I actually think we have one. It's just that they're all hoping that we're going to stay blind, deaf, and dumb. So. Yep.
They've worked very hard to divide us. That is their entire strategy. Divide. Cut a person out of the herd and focus on them, and that's the way that it works. And we just have to actually, learn. And which is what we're doing. We're developing these tools. We're learning how to do it. We're learning what's important and what's not. And one thing you touched on is really important, is the energy of the intent. And I had another conversation with Andrew Bartzis, and we're going to do a very interesting further couple of documents written in what he calls soul contract language, which is the language in which soul contracts are made. And I'll talk more about that in the Collective Imagination show tomorrow, because it's more appropriate for that show. But one of the things he said to me about the energetic intent when you're using documents like the courtesy notice was very interesting, and I want to repeat it here for everyone to think about. And we've talked about having the right intent, doing it with the higher good, the greater good in mind, and a positive intent towards the person, but obviously, a pushback to the organisation, because we're not fighting the person. We're fighting their belief in the organisation and the very existence of that organisation they think they're working for. And he said one of the best things you can do is to consciously, when you sign the documents, when you're working with the documents, be thinking in terms of returning all of the negativity that the interaction with that entity, with that bank or with that government has brought to you. Put that back into the document along with your good intent. Okay, and leave it there. Don't take those bad vibes you got from getting those crappy letters from whoever away with you. Once you sign that document, leave those emotions on the document and walk away just with your own personal pure energy. And he said to them, that is a poison pill, energetically speaking. So it's just a refinement on the way to think about it. Just be conscious that you're giving back to them, you're reflecting back their attempt to harvest you, reflecting it straight back at them. And energetically, that will add to the content of the message. So I'll just pass that on to you, because I think it's a really useful thing that we can use to make this stuff more effective.
Well, completely and absolutely true. So.
And look, I'll I'll keep you informed as to how we're going with these other couple of documents, because it's quite exciting. It's looking like being two things. One is it's not just a document. It's actually an energetic process. I'm discovering, learning a lot here with Andrew, and probably two processes. One, to terminate all contracts with the old system, including soul contracts, and another to attach you to the energetic space that's forming in this new, that's forming, the one people are forming a new civilization. Excuse me, I'm just running out of I'm drying up in the throat here. Yeah, it attaches you to the energetic space of the new world, and at a very much a soul level. Won't be everybody's cup of tea necessarily, won't be necessarily something that everything want to do, but there are a lot of very spiritually motivated people following this, and they may well like to do that because it'll be very meaningful to them, and anything that's very meaningful to you is very energetic. So we'll put that information out there in the next week or two when we finish going through this process. So Helen, look, thanks very much for that information. It's fantastic. And I really look forward to the success stories, actually. And I know that Bethany, are you still with us there?
She's just actually PM'd me saying that she's got some stories to tell, so I'm going to call her after this call.
Yeah, because she runs a page called the OPPT Success Stories page, or it was called that. I'm not sure what it's called now.
Oh, okay.
So you guys better, I think, have a bit of an information exchange there, and maybe just end up putting it all in the one place, so it's easy to find.
Yeah.
Because it's those success stories that people need to hear. Because that's apart from the massive support we can loan each other through the email out process and faxing and personal delivery and whatever it is we can do.
Yep.
It's the stories about successes that really boost everybody.
Correct. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, well, look, we have to move on in the show, and now we've got the Morocco team back on board. We can find out what's happening at their end. So, Helen and Bethany, thank you very much for coming on. We'll keep in touch, and the websites we're looking at here today are absolute-data-exchange.com and i-uv.com. That's the I Universal Value Exchange.com. It really is. It is just the letters. It's actually i-uv.com. Let's not get confused. Something funny going back there in Morocco. So thanks, girls. We'll be speaking to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay. See you later, Helen and Bethany. And
Thanks
Okay, back to you guys in Morocco.
Anyone really?
There?
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know what you've talked about while we were offline. Did you bring up Simon's comments?
Simon's comments.
Yeah. I just wanted to share it because I felt like he beautifully summed up. Oh, geez, I've lost it. I can't control your I'm sorry, I'm working on Dee's computer and I'm not doing a very good job of it.
End of the way.
Can you go to my website, please?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you're back. There you go. Go play.
And it's not loading. The journey that a lot of us have been on just over the course of the last 5 months. And I thought he summed it up beautifully, and I was going to read it out to you. It's a comment that he put up on my website to the part 2, I believe. Sorry, guys. We're winging it here, as much as always.
You mean like same as usual?
Yeah, same old. Same. Same but different.
Yes, same but different.
Where is he? Simon, here we go. Hi, Lisa. I want to express my gratitude for your wonderful presence, transparency, and humanity in this journey we are on. It is great in helping those of us new to this whole scene. Honest responses and questions amidst conversations that are going into places so unfamiliar and unnerving. In the past weeks, I have come to terms, in part, with that the conspiracy theory guys weren't crazy after all. that there are a bunch of sinister types behind the scenes, that they have been undone, and as if that is not enough, apparently there's a bunch of beings from other planets here to say hello. In the short time I've been coming to terms with this, I've been flabbergasted, joyful, depressed, sleeping a lot, delighted, hopeful, questioning, whether to dare to hope this might be true, knowing it is true, and then considering myself crazy. Having your voice on the airwaves allows me to breathe easier, knowing I'm not alone in this. There is something else I want to thank you for too. The rest of it's just a compliment, so it's very nice.
Read it.
And he goes, he actually came back and said, the above makes so little sense. It's indicative of where my mind is at. I hope the message gets through in some form. So that I so love the humanity you are bringing to a mind-blowing conversation. And it's funny, I mean, on the surface of things, we're looking like, it's a bunch of documents. But in order to fully understand what they did, what they mean, it is a huge range of different subjects to take on board. And because these documents do refer to universal, not just planetary, dimensions. The conspiracy theories have been right. The conspiracy theory guys have been right all along, So it is a lot to take in. And I know a lot of people have been on a really huge journey just in 5 short months. What some of us have spent 10 years or 20 years ago that they've had to do in 5 months. And I just want to say a personal shout out to everybody who's had to go on that journey in such a short period of time. Congratulations for sticking with it, because it's not easy. That's my little contribution for the moment.
Yeah, we just, I don't know whether you caught that part of the conversation, but we actually pointed out that the entire process we've been going through in the last 5 months has had a budget of 0.
Oh, yeah.
It's been entirely done on the goodwill and passion of everybody who's discovered what's been going on and has been completely engaged in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
The IUV in action.
Exactly, and that's what happened with Bob and the ticket. And Brian, for instance, lobbed into the railway station with the wrong railway station at Tangiers yesterday, and didn't have any form of communication but his iPad. So he dropped into one of the Skype rooms, and within a couple of, it took about half an hour, I guess, we had that whole situation sorted. It just wasn't a problem. Although I'm sure Brian was quite tired and didn't necessarily see it that way. Are you with us, Brian?
It was quite funny if you'd been here for that one.
Yeah. Well, the pity with Brian...
Apparently picking people up from airports just doesn't illuminate.
For Heather.
I always knew there must be a good excuse on the other end of what was going on, and now I figured out what it was. It just wasn't important. I get it. It's interesting being lost and stranded 10 miles from where you're supposed to be and not being able to get a hold of anybody to take care of it. So, Chris, I'm just real happy to be here.
Well,
we got you.
What you could have done, Brian, is 10 miles is just a bit of a marathon. You could have jogged there, couldn't you?
He could have if he knew where to go.
And they lost his luggage, so it wasn't like he had to carry that.
Exactly.
Wow.
Bob, I'll be there to pick you up.
I was not that I was worried, Heather.
It should be. I will ensure, just like I did this morning, making sure that Heather's awake. I'm not a fibber. Did I have coffee for you?
Hey, Bob, just make sure when you come into town it doesn't conflict with breakfast or lunch schedules. Thank you.
Yeah.
Not
Timing
that we can tell you where they are anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the topic at hand.
Yes.
Back to the topic in hand. Look, there's one thing I have to announce for for Scott and Ken is that the email address for Forapack for queries about the courtesy notices has actually changed from forapack@gmail.com to forapack@absolute-data-exchange.com. That's FOROPAQ, Forapack, at absolute-data-exchange.com. Okay, I've got to slip that in there because if I forget, Ken will spank me. Can't have that.
Now that I'd like to see.
I'll take it. Speak for yourself.
Next.
Actually, the other thing I wanted to say was the 5D Media Facebook page. The photos you guys are putting up for this, my 5D paradigm, or this is my paradigm, are just extraordinary. That one page of Facebook has become a one-stop shop for seeing some of the most incredible photos online. And some of they're funny, they're beautiful, they're artistic, they're just gorgeous. It's a joy to go there and have a look at them. So thank you all very much. And for Chris and Bob, if you haven't done so, go and have a look.
We shall. One of the most inspiring thing about this is just the sheer amount of passion that this whole idea of shifting paradigms, of going to something completely new. Look, it just inspires everybody. It's brilliant stuff.
It is. Now, I'm trying to encourage, Mark's in the room with us, and I'm trying to encourage him to come over and say hello.
Okay.
Are you trying to tell me Mark Hoser is shy? That doesn't. You couldn't put Mark Hoser and shy in the same sentence, could you?
Well, you could, but it wouldn't make
actually,
any sense.
Yeah.
They make fun of,
it doesn't.
No matter what I do, they make fun of me.
Funny.
Well, Mark, answer this question. I want a straight answer to this question, Mark. How do you spell Bob backwards?
B-O-B.
Thank you.
Wow.
I nailed it.
Yeah, you did. Well done.
Okay, I think I'll give an update for Project 13. That's a good one because a lot of people are asking questions about that. So that would be good.
Yeah, we did, Mark. We did actually give a short update, but I think look, just proceed, and yeah, go for it.
If you already covered it, that's good because I think that what's going to happen there is Caleb's planning to get everything going as fast as he can. He really got out of banner for a few days, and he's still not up to speed really. So I think it really depends how it goes this week. If the Silverlight platform gets prepared for June 1st launch, he thinks that there's a good chance of having the iPhone app and the Windows mobile app to launch on the 1st of June. And he feels like that's enough time for that, and the website will be up. But it's just it was just a practical thing that he was out of action and not able to program. Whether that improves this week will remain to be seen. It seems good so far. Today was much better. What else? What else should I talk about, Chris? Is there something that you can think?
No, look, we did cover it off. We did cover it off just before, and we gave the bank CEOs a bit of a lecture on, stop pretending to be banks, and come and play.
Probably another. I know something else that's top of mind for everyone. Is how will it look with the IUV, and how will we be working to access value? I think what we're going to see is a lot of people are a set of tools and that range from different tool sets that we work on. That there are different solutions that we're looking to bring out. Heather has a lot of ideas about what that'll look like, and we're going to be going through a process over the next couple of days that to really celebrate bringing that in, and then I see it as an ongoing conversation and a growing set of tools, like what we can do now, and then getting ideas of what where we want to go from there. Because as each new day goes by, we actually come up with stuff to work on, and then we expand and get more ideas. There are practical tools that we can work on now, and then and groups of people interested in working together. I think that'll all become very clear through this next week, and I don't know when we'll actually be talking about that on the air. I'm hesitant to talk about my guesses because I haven't digested everything myself well enough to talk about publicly. So I would like to be conservative from my own viewpoint, but I know it's top of mind with everybody, and also it's the main reason, one of the very main reasons that we got together here. So maybe it sounds like everything's fun, but it's not so much fun when everybody's making fun of me. I could cry.
I know you guys can't see him, but Mark is literally shedding tears.
Yeah. It is actually fun here because we have an amazing gathering, and it's hard to focus, but it's something really special that's happening, and the flow on from that's going to be very, very good for everyone. So I have been suggesting to everyone to focus on the end result, which is our lives being empowered.
Yeah.
The ability to what we intend to do.
Yeah, Mark. One of the things
rather than waiting for something to happen, let's focus on what your outcome is for yourself and for your family. Find the little joys in what you have now, and then let's build on that. Let's grow as quickly as we can to deal with things. And I would really hope that a lot of work that went up to this time in education will help when it comes time for people to have access to value that they won't just feed right back into the whole energy harvesting that we're clear.
Yeah, look, I'll just rephrase what Mark's trying to say. One of the issues with the Universal Exchange is if when it comes online, everyone on the planet went and paid off their mortgages, we're putting a whole lot of real value back into a fake system that's crumbling. And which is one of the reasons why I'm really keen on fronting the banks and getting them to really out what they've actually been doing. Because there'll come a point where we'll be able to walk away from all that stuff, and there'll be no need to put real value back, because all it'll do is prop up the old system for a period of time, which is just prolonging the agony. So why would we do it? And it's just, as the Universal Exchange comes online in the weeks to come, we'll just have to deal with that. It's an educational aspect.
Hey, Chris, it's Heather.
Hi, Heather. How are you?
I'm good. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to go in and that last phrase, you're talking about the banks and going in there and just really shutting it down, pretending to be banks. I feel so much separation in all the, there's a moment, tools always serve until they don't serve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at this moment, either it is oneness or we focus on separateness. And the I and the UV, we had a really amazing moment, and there's many more after that moment and beyond, of oneness. so many came together from all around, not just the world, but the universe. And why? Because things resonated within. And people have these tools of resonance. So my question now, as with the first question I ever posed to Brian and Bill and Dee when I first talked to them back in December, of what were you going to do? Because I was so excited to experience what you were going to do. That was the question I had. And I just want to first thank everyone. My absolute gratitude for everyone's doing, because it was an amazing experience. In this moment now, that's what I ask is, what do you choose? The separateness or the oneness? And then just really look at everything you do, everything you choose to do, and ask that question. Is this creating separateness or is this creating oneness? What is? I love you guys and I love everything that you do. And this is really the moment. This is the end. This is the finale. I really would like for everyone to consider just for a moment, what is your desire? And that is what is going to manifest. So for all of you to clarify, my choice is oneness. My choice is is-ness. So if someone, anyone, regardless of what their role was in all this experiment, I love you. And you can always repurpose. Energy never ceases to exist, and it's never created. But it can always manifest in any form it chooses, at any moment it chooses, in any state it chooses. And I'm there to support and empower and assist insofar as you assist yourself. So I love you all. I'm going to pass this back over, and thank you for letting me share the moment with you.
Thank you, Heather. And I don't think anyone on this call would feel any differently. If we could all flick a switch and be one at one moment, that would be the ultimate.
We can. That's the point.
We can. We just have to engage that gear.
Mhm. Yep.
I hope that everybody is really paying attention. Are you really paying attention to what's going on in front of you, around you, inside you? Is everyone paying attention to what's actually happening and how things actually can be and where it is that we're going? You know, when we were asked to talk about, you know, how we all got to or are getting to Morocco, because I had no idea how I was going to get there. I just knew I needed to be there. And so I started to go ahead on the assumption that I was going. You know, getting things ready, making my arrangements, you know, checking flight schedules. I had no.
You okay, Bob?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, you were just looking at the flight schedules, and no means of actually booking anything at that moment.
Bill asked me in the morning, "Are you coming to Morocco?" And I said, "Yes." You know, I just haven't manifested the means yet. And he said, "Well, you know, how much do you need?" And I'm like, "Well, basically all of it." You know, I could not have imagined, you know, what transpired in the 2 hours after that. And that is where we're going. I mean, the whole idea of waiting, and everybody, and I feel so much. I feel everybody on the chat room. I feel, the anticipation. I feel the anxiety. I feel the impatience. I feel the desperation of some people, and it's that energy, that desperation. I have to have it, and I have to have it now. That chokes the energy from actually coming, to you. It's like a stranglehold on the universe. Give it to me. And you don't get any result from that. But an actual recoil, it's a matter of letting go of all of that anxiety, letting go of all of that worry, all of that fear, and just moving forward. You don't know what's behind the door until you approach it. You've got to actually walk up to it. The door's not going to come to you. And when you do that, it's so magical and it's so amazing. And I hope you're all paying attention to it, on what it is that you've done thus far and what it is that we've accomplished here on this planet. That ordinary people, housewives and workers and stay-at-home moms and unemployed people have done. I have no words.
I can't wait to see you. I cannot wait.
You know what was really awesome about that too is every time I talked to Bob, there was never any doubt, and Bob was like, I'm going to Morocco. I'm going to Morocco. It was never like, we'll see if I can get the money together, or
I hope I'm going.
I really hope I have the opportunity to go, or we'll see how things shake up. It was like, I'm going to be in Morocco. I'm just going to be there. And, we all supported that. Yeah, you're going to be there. We're all going to be there, and everything is going to be amazing. And, I just actually didn't find out that Bob was coming until I got here today. And it was kind of like, cool, because I expected it. So what we had is like a beautiful contribution to the energy that it was going to happen. And when you create an intention like that, one as an individual and two as a collective, you support that space to allow for it to happen however it needs to, without any expectation of it looking a certain way or expecting it to come in a certain form, and then it just does. And so, gosh, what a beautiful representation and illustration of how all this works. And when people start to not only hear this, but not only listen but hear this, then what happens is people begin to start realizing this isn't just New Age hocus pocus. This is how the universe works. This is how the universe operates. I can do this too. I am doing this too, whether I realize it or not. The thoughts and the intentions I put out of the universe are coming back to me. And that's when it spreads like that, that's what is ultimately what births change, and a huge change in energy and a change in landscape into creating something that's totally new and totally awesome. Heather always says, imagine absent limits and then do what you imagine. And at first, it took me a lot of time to understand that, but it's so true. Don't limit yourself. Just absolutely go for it. So we'll see you when you get here, Bob.
I also want to say that so many of you are here.
Oh, yes.
Wow, it's actually pretty crowded. We feel you. And there are days here where it's just the air itself feels thick and crowded. It's quite amazing. And there's more of you joining every day. And whether you're consciously doing it, I don't know. Some of you probably are, spending time in your meditations or just thinking about it during the day. But, yeah, it's getting really crowded.
Just a bit.
Yeah. We can feel it. Yeah.
And I get messages, literally. I've gotten several messages this week out of the blue from people I don't talk to that often, who are not in my the RTS rooms or anything like that, who contacted me and said, all of a sudden, last week, I started dreaming about the desert. And I started, having these meditations. And this one friend of mine, if she's listening, she'll giggle, said she was talking to a friend, and her friend asked her something, well, what do you want to do? And she said, out of the blue, she just said, I want to go to Morocco. And then she looked at her friend like, where the hell did that come from? She had no idea. She was just like, I have no idea why I just said that. And yet she's been here because some of the things that she's described in her meditations and in her dream time have been exactly what we've been working on.
Wow.
You guys still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yep, we're here.
It went very, very quiet for a minute.
We've been talking for 40 minutes. It's your turn.
I'm just going to have a look at how much time we've got left.
About 20 minutes. About 20 minutes left.
Okay.
We do have calls on the line if we want to take.
Sure, let's do that. Can you do it?
Yep.
Not in the studio.
Area code 561. Area code 561.
Hello.
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 Oh my golly.
Hello.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello, this is Jerry here.
Hello,
And
Jerry.
I'm very glad to be here. Bob, you might remember me. I called into your transforming show the other week, and I recited a couple of poems.
Yes, I do. I remember you, Jerry. Yes.
I have more, of course, and there's one I would love to share. I've been doing a few little bits and pieces here. I'm one of the people that's been helping Bethany to the best of my ability. I'm a bit hopeless at spreadsheets, but I did manage to acquire a few email addresses. And another thing I did was to do a Toastmasters speech about what's been happening. And I correlated it together with some learnings I've been doing over the years with various spiritual teachers. And Patricia Cocha-Robles is one who, what she's been feeding over the years for 40 years, you guys have achieved. She has something about, the people that are receiving the ideas and viable solutions from the causal body of good that will solve the problems and maladies existing on Earth. She's been affirming this for years and years, and all of us affirming with her. And then you guys have found the solution. Now we just have to follow through with all this work we're doing. So I spoke about that, and then I spoke about what had happened with the UCC filings and everything, and I handed out the foreclosure flyers and, various, some links and stuff to this show. That's another thing I wanted to mention. On the foreclosure flyer that's on the Absolute Data website, it's got the old links for the old radio show before when it was OPPT. So I've changed that on mine so people can go directly to that. But all in all, I'm here to look forward to see my vision, as Heather said, that we've got to see what we want to see. I see a mass awakening, everybody waking up. All of us could live in peace and harmony together. We wouldn't have to worry about who's doing what because we would all just muck in and help. But I see that people are just going to have to awaken. I think every day they are. Is that what you're all seeing?
Yes.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll finish off and I'll give you this poem, which is so relevant, Heaven on Earth. I posted it on the 3D page for my 5D vision. It's in my book, Poems by Jones, Inspirational Poems by Jones. It's called Heaven on Earth. I am dreaming of heaven on earth. It is not long until this birth. Day by day, people become aware. This very moment is very rare. Look within. Feel who you are. You are a wonder. You are a star. Find your true self, chock full of love. Be that pure soul you've been dreaming of. Give love to others. Feel it return. It is not long until we all learn that we're here to live peaceful lives and to create all sorts of perfection. Let's open the gate. Open your heart, open your mind, and in your life you will soon find nothing but happiness, wonder and bliss. Humanity and earth are so ready for this. That's all been coming in when all of you have been creating what you've been creating. I've been creating all of this stuff. It's the message in a simple form.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Jerry.
Yeah, look, there's so many people, Jerry, there's so many people for so many years have been holding this vision. Even if you go back to, I was having a conversation with Brad last night about Jacques Fresco. He's been holding the vision that we're working for since 1960s and talking about it. And it's amazing that it's now starting to actually come to fruition right before our eyes.
Isn't it?
And I think this last bit of it, you know, Heather refers to this as the finale, and it feels. I know Lisa's been, you know, working on this for 20 years, and other people on this call for longer. In the end, it's going to seem like it happens in the twinkle of an eye. Now, it might be weeks or months, but in the overall scheme of things, it'll be a flash of light, and that's the bit I'm looking forward to.
Yes, it's just incredibly exciting. It's so, absolutely brilliant. It's just hard to believe that I've been dreaming for this life with no money. I really think we can do it. I really think we can all just give our little bit to society. We don't need money. We just need love and help, and that's what all my poems are all about just helping each other. And, giving, and have you time for one more shift?
Is this Maria? Is it Maria?
It's Jerry.
What? Jerry. Sorry about that. Jerry, hey, this is Brian. I have received your emails, and I love your poems, by the way. I can't remember if I responded to your emails or not, but I really enjoy your contribution to the creative expressing and creative language. What's going on right now? Whether or not I've responded to your emails, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that because your writings are beautiful.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I asked about maybe going on the radio show. Oh, I'll tell you what else I've done. I watched the citizens' hearing on disclosure, and I sent emails to some of the key witnesses and researchers like Richard Dolan. He responded, and the guy that ran the whole thing. I sent an email to the Paradigm Research, whatever he's called. I've just got an email back from him.
Stephen Bassett, that would be.
Yes. He replied, and I just sent him, all the links to the radio shows and the IUV site and the foreclosure flyer, all of that stuff. And I said, you guys need to know about this because they all need things to change so all this stuff can come out. So I thought they'd be really cool people to know about it. So I got 2 replies from that. That's another great thing. So people are starting to answer, not just ignore our emails, which is really brilliant. And I've got 2 set up to go in the morning Bethany's organising this flash mob emails tomorrow. So I've got 2 ready to fire out tomorrow morning. So that's really exciting.
Excellent. Look, the Absolute Data website is going to be brilliant for just jumping in and grabbing really good email addresses and just peppering the system with our energy. It'll be great.
So exciting. So exciting.
Yeah, if you've never done it before, folks, sitting there with an email with about 1,000 names on it when you finger over the send button, that's fun.
Yes, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yep.
And he's out, boom, gone. And it's not even hard. It's really not hard. Even if you're not very good at internet, you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
I even managed to put some emails in this spreadsheet, which I don't do spreadsheets. I look after horses. I don't do office stuff, so it's like pretty hard work for me, but I managed to do it. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. Yeah, so it's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys are just wonderful. I can just imagine you all giggling there. It's lucky I'm not there because I would just be like, I would be speechless with giggling. So sounds like everything's just going so brilliantly well, and we're just on the verge of just everything, aren't we? It's just absolutely outstanding. So exciting. Shift. We humans are naturally a peaceful race, full of love and full of grace. And in these times of unrest and war, we need to love each other more and more. The world is off track. We've lost our way. We must stop blaming and to ourselves must stay. I am responsible for what happens to me and have the feeling of let it be. It's time for shift. It's time to see that I can help you and you can help me. We can love our neighbors, our friends, our foes. Goodness guides us because goodness knows. Let's put down our weapons and let go of greed. These two actions could indeed change your lives on planet Earth. Making these shifts will soon show their worth. That's it. I'll let you all...
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Look, could you write another poem for me? Because one of the things I want to see happen when there'll be some form of announcements at some point. The information will start pouring out. The very first thing I want to come out is a declaration of peace.
Okay, I can write. I've got a peace poem already, which was written a while back. I could maybe change it round. The peace poem at the moment is I dream of and pray for peace on earth. It's time that we witness the birth of peace and love for all mankind and living life with peace of mind. What is this peace of which I speak? It's cooperation. Just take a peek and see the people who love and care for each other. It's everywhere. But still there are those who choose to fight throughout the night, day and all the night. With fellow humans, they got it wrong. We're all here to get along. So send out love to all around you, whether Christian, Muslim, Hindu or Jew. We're brothers and sisters, all one race, all of us human and full of grace. That I wrote 2 years ago.
And that, Jerry, is instant manifestation. How about my wish coming to me immediately? Bang. See, you had it ready. It was there. It was already done.
Yeah. It's
Love it.
here, yeah. Well, I can send you a copy of it. I mean, I'd love to send you guys my whole book, actually, because it's just like a handbook that everybody needs at the moment. So
well, if you've got it in digital, if you have a digital form of it, that's the easiest way to get it to us.
Yes, it's ebook. You can order it straight off... I haven't got it on my website. I've got the hard copy. But if you look for Inspirational Poems by Jones, P-O-M-E-S by Jones, Poems by Jones, it's available on Amazon already.
Beautiful.
And,
there you go.
But it's only $3.99 or something. So, but I'd love to give you guys copies. But anyway, you're all wonders. You're all wonder, and you're a star. All of you, every one of you. And I love you all. And thank you so much for everything. And I better shut up now.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you soon.
I will talk to you again.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, everybody. Love you all. Thank you. All right, then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And we have area code 773. They're playing music. Okay.
That was interesting.
That was interesting. It was nice
was it?
music. I don't know, but it was nice. Area code 646.
Well, now, how are we tonight?
Hello. Is that Flo?
Tis I, indeed. How we doing there, Bob?
I'm doing great.
Hello, Flo.
Hello, Lisa. Hello, everyone. Hello, Brian. How's everybody doing this evening? I'm sure you guys are doing great, as I am as well. Oh, what a wonderful evening. You guys are all gathered together again. I've been sitting here thinking about all my different plans that I've been trying to come up with over the last 27 years. I created a comic book when I was like 7, like 12 different characters. They look like Dragon Ball Z characters. I came out with all these different video games, all these different stories and stuff. Oh my goodness, I just posted something on my Facebook the other day that this plan that I want to put through with my building, all these different things. You guys are talking about the IUV, this Project 13, all this wonderful stuff. We're holding the energetic space for the future of broadcasting. I mean, guys, all this doing and being around this planet is coming together, and I love it. What can I share with you today that's been going through my mind? I want you guys to have a look at my blog again. I've reorganized it. It's not like linear or anything, so you can just go there and there's just a kind of a spread of all my stuff now. I don't know. I want to share my idea with the video game because that's exactly what's going on here. It's called Push. And what it started out as, like the game starts out like you just kind of wake up, like you just you're out of this dream now, and now you're looking around, and all these people are sleeping around you. But there's this wall just coming towards you guys, and you want to stop the wall from coming. So now you got the choice. You can either go over there and start pushing against the wall, trying to slow it down, throw something at it and make it slow down, or get people to help you stop the wall. Then you got a choice when you wake somebody up. You can say, okay, you should go help wake up people, or you should go and try to stop the wall while I try to wake up people, and that's the whole idea of the game, to wake up everybody and get the least amount of casualties or something like that or other, get the least amount of people knocked over and all that stupid stuff. It's a fun little game. It can be one of those flash games, like you're running and all you do is run and jump, but this might have like different controls. But that sounds like a great game, and I thought of that maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So maybe that's something that we can put into motion. Cornstarch, I can go on. But you guys, this is what this week has done for me. I was on the transitioning show with Bob. That was a great one. They were my counseling session that day because I'd been going through some problems. My anger was resurfacing, and I was coming out of alignment with my true eternal essence. So I had to realign myself with the truth and the honesty that's within me. I reevaluated my circumstances and said that I am infinity. I have no limits. I have no boundaries, and, continue to move forward. And, oh, my God, here we go again. My legs buckle as I remember that I'm a poet, and we just had the beautiful Jerry on the line, Poems by Jones. Oh, that is just so fabulous. I just want to kiss you. I'd love to share a poem that you guys can go and look at on my blog and on my Facebook. There's no name for it, but this is how I came up with it a few days ago. A friend of mine named Charles Hamilton, he made a song and he put it online. I listened to it, I loved it, and I wrote this. I said, if you have a moment. I said, I think you're kind of close to me, and I don't want to admit you're out of this world. I mean, you mean the most to me. See, you kind of float to me. Magnetic attraction in the quantum flips, and then it folds to me. See, it's not a joke to me. And I don't want to admit that even with the evidence, it isn't sold to me. So what is the goal to me? Something out of this world and what can never be taught, given, or told to me. See, me as the flow. Mind, body, and soul, emotions put me together and pull me into the whole. The next level is higher. This is what's known. So take with the transition. If gifted enough gold, can we take a position? If given a plush home, enough food to be planted to live in a just own, can we be on admission of living off of unjust loans? Come to the senses of giving and none owns. What are the senses of ripping apart bones to the very foundation of living is far gone? We are on some real bull, and we're getting bucked off. The gravity will pull us straight down. We're straight clowns if we think in vibrations that limits us ain't sound. We play around with the tools but haven't found the simplest way to measure a mass, and it ain't pounds. Every day we cover the dollar with no value, with no number equals infinity. What have you? It's so sad these habits are so bad that we disregard nature and end up with toe tags. We don't have to end up in no bag, like I don't got to pay you for water and no gas. It's all energy, not to be so crass, but they misrepresenting the shit out of your ass. Like, you're in class and teacher will call your name out the same mouth. You want nothing better to slap flame out, because now she butchered your name. And before it gets in the psyche, you say, I'm Michelangelo, but you can call me Mikey. See, what we have here is indoctrination of ignorance. See, I'm king of this world, even if my name isn't this. Regardless of the premise, indicate to the system, this isn't a fiction, and Prince isn't a victim.
We're down. Awesome flow. And it flowed. And we're down to our last minute.
and I bid you adieu with that, guys. I appreciate you, and I say goodbye. Thank you so much.
That was a perfect exit.
Thank you, Flo.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Thanks, Flo. That was awesome.
Thanks, Flo.
You rock, dude.
Okay, guys, real quick.
Yep.
I guess we will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock, same time here at Blog Talk Radio. You can catch the archive on 5dmedianetwork.com. Lisa?
Yes.
Anything final?
I love you. That's all.
And I love you guys. I'll see you soon there.
That's sweet. Yep, we'll see
She
you
was
guys
speaking
tomorrow.
on behalf of all of us, by the way. So, ditto.
All of us love all of you.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good
Love
night.
you guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Night
night.
from Morocco.